Yes, you beautiful people. Welcome to Fresh UK Podcast and welcome to Lockdown 2.0. Times are pretty shit at the minute. Everything's a bit down, depressing and all that kind of larky. But hopefully this week's guest will give you some inspiration to motivate yourselves and just to make you keep your chin up, stay smiling, stay happy. And so, yeah, welcome Zak Purdy. How are we doing, bro?
I'm all right, thank you. Thank you for the invite as well. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, first of all, before we start, mate, happy birthday.
Yeah. Cheers, thank you. I have got a beer, guys, so don't, it's my birthday, so don't judge me too soon.
I like that. Hold on the mic arm. Look at that. Hold on his arm.
That's all good. It can stay there.
All good, baby. All good. So you're good. It's your birthday today. You had a good day, bro?
It's been fantastic, mate, and it's been a fantastic weekend as well. And I think we should tell the story of yesterday.
Yeah, man, that is weird. So, like, I thought yesterday I'd go for a nice walk, a mam tour with me mum and my daughter and my brother's dog. And on the way, my mum got a bit car sick, so we took a bit of a detour.
Did your brother know that you took his dog?
Yeah,
all right, okay.
Did just go steal his dog.
Yeah, okay.
And then mum got a bit car sick, so we said, you know what, let's just see where's closer, because I've always wanted to go to that Frog at Edge. So I've been to Mam Tour a couple of times. So we took, and it was like 2 minutes away from where we was. Like, it's not far from like Bakewell and all that sort of area, is it? And then we went there and started walking all the way round to it, because we weren't even sure exactly where it was. We were just guessing. Like, Sat-Nav said we were there. And then we pulled up 5 minutes down the road. We're like, well, everyone was pulling up alongside the road. So we just walked across this field, went across. I said, that must be it there. I've seen photos. I think that's it there. I thought it was going to be a lot higher, but once you're actually up there, the view's lovely, isn't it?
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
And then we were literally on the rock, just past the rock. And we thought, right, we're going well out here. Let's turn around to my mum. And as we turned around, Zak just went, hop, skip and a jump, like, across this rock. And he went, oh, I went, you all right? I went, you all right? And I looked at him, and then he looked again and, like, we both realised who each other was.
Yeah, it's a small world.
It was so strange because, like I said to you, just 60 seconds before, I was telling a friend, I was saying, I'm going on this podcast tomorrow, and this guy, and he's from Mansfield, because you're from Mansfield, the guy I was with. Next thing, the dog runs off, goes to his dog, and I'm like chasing after this dog. I look up and it's you, but it was so strange because the odds of that.
Did you for a moment think he might have been following you, maybe figuring you out, maybe doxing you before the podcast?
I didn't, but now you say it, and I'm kind of worried the way he's looking at me as well.
Working out what questions to ask.
Got him on tracker. That was weird though. Like I said, I've never been there, and obviously seeing you there on the rock, it was just like surreal, man. That was weird, wasn't it?
Very
weird. I was like,
for a few hours after, just
it's like starstruck, if you like. It was strange, but no, man. So yeah, tell the people like what you're doing to help people. Like, tell people a bit about your story and stuff. So where did it all start? And obviously you've been through a lot of shit in your life, haven't you? And I know myself, I used to suffer from anxiety, as I know you did. It took a lot to get through for myself, but so yeah, man, just tell people like where this all came from, because I've been watching obviously your socials and you're very inspirational on there, and you give people great motivation on there, especially. And I'm to myself, I thought, wow, this guy is awesome. Let's get him on the podcast. Let's get him chatting to people. And
thank you.
You know what I mean?
So I guess if I could tell people a bit about myself to begin with, and the story of where I came from, sort of thing. So when I was younger, I was bullied as a kid. I was kind of. I went through some abuse as a kid that I've only just started speaking about, so I probably won't go into depth, but there was a lot of abuse in my past. Didn't get on my stepdad, and he was very physical. He never kind of beat me to the point where I was black and blue, but he was, slapped me about a bit and gave me a good hiding. Now, for me growing up, that seemed normal.
Yeah.
Now, looking back from what I know now, I can kind of put the pieces together of the past. So anyway, as I'm growing up, I get bullied as well. I wasn't the most attractive kid. I got fat. I played computer games. I was nerdy. And I developed this severe anxiety to the point where, so basically what brought it on is I was in love. I was infatuated with this girl from year 7, 8, and 9. Wow. And I was always very confident, the class clown. And I always used to sit with her. She was my best friend. And I was like, oh yeah, she knew I fancied her. I knew I fancied her. One day we sat across from each other like we are here. And she smiled at me like this, and out of nowhere, I had a panic attack. From what I know is a panic attack now. Wow. I'm sweating, like going bright red, and she goes, "Are you okay?" And that was the worst thing, mate. I just sank into my chair, bro.
You start going,
mate, I just wanted to get out of there. It was. I can't even explain it. And then after that, it was reoccurring. So every time I sat next to her, and then every time I sat next to a girl. And then it was like every time I thought anybody was going to talk to me, or I had to stand up in class, then it was going to school, and then it just got worse and worse.
Escalated.
Really, really bad, to the point where if there was a female serving, like say I wanted to buy some clothes and there was a female serving, I'd have to get my friends or my family to go and pay for the item because I couldn't do it. I'd just start sweating profusely. Then because I was sweating, I'm getting embarrassed. I'm going red and I just wanted to die on the spot.
Is it kind of like that character off The Big Bang Theory where he can't talk to women at all unless he's had a drink? Is it Raj?
It was very similar to that, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like that sort of, because it goes, obviously it's gone back from that first sort of instance when you had this sort of panic attack and didn't realise what it was.
That's what it all stemmed from, essentially.
That's what it stemmed from.
That first glance.
I think what it was is, now we could talk about, I want to talk about this more in depth as well, but this is the time I started masturbating as a kid. I got into porn and ejaculating. So now we'll talk more about this because I practice something called semen retention. But if we get back to the story for now, so from what I worked out, it was to do with the life I was living and how I was associating with women, which was through pornography. So then I guess
toxic, isn't it?
It's very toxic. Yeah, very toxic. So anyway, from there, the anxiety, it lasted for 10 years. And I'd say it ruined my life for a few years until I realized I had to get over it, basically. And how I got over it was through boxing, because anxiety is I still get it now. I can feel it now when I'm doing this podcast. But it's the fight or flight system saying, this is new, this is scary, what's going on? The brain's scared. And then what you do is you do something over and over again that makes you anxious. The brain sort of goes, oh, we're not going to die, this is okay. So what I did is I started talking to women more. I started going on dates more and pushing myself through it. And what I do is I tell people, I say, look, I've got anxiety. I've got a bit of anxiety. If I start sweating and going red, don't worry, I'm not dying. I'm just having a bit of an episode.
That's good though, that you're just honest and open straight away like that, which must help that problem kind of initially.
100%.
Put it front and center rather than trying to hide
100%. And anybody listening to this podcast, if they struggle with anxiety, and it's a similar sort of anxiety that can relate to what I've just said, first thing to do is to get it out there in the open. Anxiety is basically, in my opinion, is energy that's you're not letting out. If there's something going on from your past and you're not talking about it, it's going to build up in the form of physical, whether that becomes like an ailment or an illness or anxiety or depression. You need to talk about it. You need to let it out because energy built up in the body is not good. And then once you talk about it, the energy's out and you feel better. Also, anxiety is like, everybody's judging me, everybody's looking at me, everybody's this, everybody's that. If you start sweating and going red, you're going to think people are looking at you. Once you say to that person, this is what happens, you're on the same level now because you know that when it happens, they're not judging you anymore. In your head,
make it easier, surely.
So that's one way to that I did get over anxiety and also anxiety, being as we're on this topic, and depression. I use them as tools. Anything that I'm scared about, anxious about, I go head on into, because I know that anything that like boxing or talking to women or when I was personal training, when I first started getting into that, I was having panic attacks trying to teach people. The more I did it, the better I got. And then look at where I am now because of it. So we need to see anxiety and depression not as like debilitating illnesses, but as signs that say something's wrong in your life right now. Something's not right. You need to fix something. Is it your diet? Are you putting in the wrong foods? Too much alcohol? Too much caffeine? Are you eating junk food? Are you?
They say you are what you eat, don't they? So.
It's your whole lifestyle.
Definitely.
Sure.
And that's just one aspect of it. And then you've got, are you living a lie of some sort? Are you holding something in that you need to get out? I mean, a lot of people, when they come out as being gay or whatever, they are so anxious for years until they speak about it. What are you holding in? Are you living a lie? Depression, are you living in a way that's like, are you doing a 9-to-5 job that you just can't stand, that you hate? Are you with a woman or a man or whatever? Are you in a relationship that you hate to be in and you're getting depressed and anxious? But
you're just scared to leave for whatever reason or something.
It's funny how you say this though, like going off what you just said. I suffered from anxiety more and more and more as I was getting closer to my wedding. And as soon as everyone said, "Oh, you're getting married, bro," and I was like, and then my hands would go all sweating, and I'd start cramping up, and then sometimes I couldn't even leave the house. I was that bad, and people like laughing at me, like all my mates, like all the lads being all stoic and whatever. But like in my head, I was really suffering, and everyone, even my ex, still says now, "You never wanted to get married to me at that time," and I was like, not at the time. She said, the pressure was on to put a ring on a finger. So I put a ring on her finger, and then the next day she was planning the wedding, man. And I was like, oh shit. And then this anxiety started. But like I say, it's funny now. But
why do you think the anxiety started then? Do you think she tried to like...
It was pressure. And like I always said to her back then, and she's like, you never wanted to get married. Yeah, I did, but not then. Like it was too much.
Straight away.
Fast. Yeah, it was too fast, too soon. And planning it straight away. And every night coming home and she was on the laptop. So I've looked at this dress. So I've looked at this venue.
Bridezilla.
And I'm, a bridezilla, so to speak. And I'm there like,
And I guess what we've just said as well is what happened with that is I don't know if, I'm guessing that you didn't communicate that effectively. So you didn't say to her, this is how I'm feeling. Can we slow down a bit?
Yeah.
It's all about getting that anxiety out rather than letting it build up and become
up.
something.
Like you say, it manifests into something physical.
It
then,
does
doesn't
manifest.
It?
Yeah, the doctor prescribed me a very, very low 2 milligram diazepam. So when just a very, very low 2 milligram diazepam.
Tablet straight away, isn't it?
Yeah, because I said, went to the doctor, told him about this anxiety I'm having. He said, when you feel like you're about to have or feel that way, have this 2 milligram diazepam. Literally, I didn't suck on it, I didn't swallow it, I just chewed it and swallowed it, so it was quick. And then straight away, I'd be like, what was that all about? What was that all about?
And don't get me wrong, tablets are medication is a useful tool. I use medication for like 10 years. I come off them last year. They help me but I think what they do is they numb anxiety and depression, so you can stay in the life that you live in.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate my job, I'm depressed, I'm gonna go to the doctors. Try these tablets. All of a sudden I can go to work because I'm numb. The tablets numb you. You need anxiety and depression it lets you know that you've got to do something.
Use them as a tool to fuel you to do something.
Definitely.
Yeah, but at the same time, you need to face that problem head on, don't you?
How okay then, so going back to what you were saying then about how you kind of flipped it around and you started to sort of talk to girls more and stuff like, what was that first time then? Because if there's anybody like maybe listening to this that's in a similar situation, they might be thinking that what you've described might seem like a million miles away from where they are right now. So how that first time you said, you know what, I'm going to go on a date or I'm going to do something, I'm going to make contact, like
what's your advice to them people in that situation?
How did you muster up the courage to do that, you know?
Because for me, I was sick and tired of feeling how I was. So like, there's a little saying, a guy walks past a garden and there's a dog on the garden and the dog's whining and moaning. And the guy says to the owner of the dog, he says, what's up with your dog? He says, oh, he's sat on a nail. And the guy goes, why doesn't the dog move? He says, well, it's not hurting enough. And like, so what I'm trying to say there is, if you're not in enough discomfort with your anxiety, depression, you're not going to do anything about it. Okay. I was at the point where I was so fucking sick and tired of feeling how I was, being this low life, fat, bold, nasty human being. Yeah. I was like, I need to do some shit about it. I need to figure it out. So what I would say to the people in that position is try and educate yourself on what anxiety and depression is in the body chemically. Once you've got an understanding of what it is chemically, go on YouTube, type in what is anxiety, what is depression. Get some basic understanding. Because all of a sudden, when you understand that it's the body doing it, it's not you as like, you know, George or Ollie or Zach, it's not us experiencing it, it's the body. You can go, oh, that's why it's happening. And then because you know why it's happening, you know that if you keep doing it, keep going through the thing that's making you anxious, you can then lower the anxiety.
You kind of turn that pain into power. Like to overcome, you know, when you see it, you've gone in depth into your own head and you realize what it is, and you pinpointed exactly what's going on.
And that's where you need to start from, is understanding.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for the people that want to, you just need to go and do it. You need to, and then use the tool that we spoke about, communicating. Okay, I've got this problem. It is a problem at the minute. That's another thing, is the words you use. But you've got this problem, you explain to the person, and then you go through the thing. You experience the anxiety, the panic attacks, and then each time they get easier and easier. So
essentially, like maybe the first step is almost just being more open about the fact that you have a problem, that someone has anxiety. So if someone's there now listening or whatever to this and thinking, I need to do something about it, just for them to actually start talking to people about the fact that they have got it and being more upfront about it, like you say. It's the first step, perhaps, and then
definitely,
like you say, when it's in the open, they can start to work on it.
Yeah, and like so get it out in the open, communicate it, and then start to understand what it is chemically in the body, and just type on YouTube. Also, if you're going to communicate it, try to be careful of the words you choose, because words are so powerful.
Oh, definitely.
Like I've got this thing where I don't say I've had a busy day. I say I've had a productive day, which might sound very minor, but when I say busy, I associate my mum coming home from work like I'm too busy. I'm busy. Yeah. When I say productive, I'm like, I've been on my shit.
Yeah,
I've done stuff.
Exactly, yeah. That's how it should be, though.
With your anxiety, if you say my anxiety, you're saying you kind of associating your identity with this demon, this entity, this awful energy. Yeah. Whereas you say, I've been going through anxiety. This is what happens in my body, and I am recovering from. I always said to myself, I'm recovering from. I no longer say I have anxiety. I say I'm experiencing anxiety, and I've recovered from it. and I'm using it. I'm using it as a tool. When we start to say these words, the mind kind of goes, oh, okay, because it's incredible the power of words and how the brain reacts to what we say.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Power of positive thought, and just waking up in the morning and thinking today's going to be a good day and whatever, rather than just thinking, oh, I wonder what's going to happen today.
Yeah, this is what I put on my Facebook story the other day. I'm constantly trying to give people like the motivation every day, and look, the amount of messages I get nearly daily when I do these videos. God, you just make my day. You make me want to like get up in the morning and be productive, and like you just said, and because I just say to people, come on, like the other day I ranted very fast. Go on, get up, draw your curtains, make your bed, get downstairs, you know what I mean? Do a workout, go out, walk your dog, do a walk, do a cycle, do these things, and you'll feel 1,000 times better about yourself. Get some endorphins, life's a free drug. Like even doctors want to prescribe gym memberships for people with depression and things like that.
They are doing, I think, actually. They are doing.
And I do these sort of stories on Facebook and a lot more on my Snapchat. But yeah, daily, man, I'm just trying to make people happy and spread smiles. And
what you said there about moving for mental health, it's so powerful. Like we're not designed as human beings to sit there and just go on social media.
Couch potato.
We're not designed to do that. Like I've got two kind of ways of describing this. So imagine a snow globe. If you don't shake it, it just looks plain, doesn't it? When you shake it, it looks beautiful. So that's what I'm saying. Be a snow globe. Shake yourself about it. Go for it.
I like that analogy, bro. That's a good.
Go for a walk,
analogy.
and all your endorphins, the glitters going. And also, I like to say, if you've got a dog and you don't take it for a walk, what happens to the dog?
It starts chewing stuff.
Yeah, he knows.
Shitting on your living room floor.
He knows again. Yeah,
exactly. So it gets agitated.
Chewing through your network cables.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah.
Sorry.
Pain in the arse, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with human beings. If we don't go for a walk or we don't move or exercise, we become agitated. We start chewing things, shitting on the living room floor.
Chewing cables, man.
Yeah, don't chew cables, please, guys. So I'm saying,
I'm just glad it was the network cable. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no not high. Well, there's maybe a little bit of electricity there or whatever, but it's not going to be high voltage, is it? So if it had been another one, it might have been a dead dog. So quite lucky, really.
So like what we were saying then is with the moving and then the understanding and the communicating. Beating anxiety and depression isn't a one aspect or a one tier thing. It's changing your life in all these avenues: nutrition, physical, understanding, and then pushing yourself through it. You've got to get everything under the key. And then if let's say you're genetically wired up to be more, what's the word? When you're more, you've got more chance of having these illnesses, these mental illnesses.
Yeah. More susceptible.
More susceptible, thank you. Yeah, more susceptible to these. You need to make sure that you're on top of your shit every day.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to be on top of your shit every day. And that's why I do it. I don't do it to look good. I do it because I need to feel good. I want as much energy as possible.
Like Ollie on his socials lately, he's been reading books and about how important
listening to books.
Oh, sorry. How important it is to create a schedule or a schedule.
Schedule.
Yeah. You've been banging on about that, haven't you? Like,
yeah,
so
definitely, yeah, man. If you want to be productive, just don't just think, every day, right, I've got loads of stuff to do, I'm just going to do it, plan the day out. I'm going to do this on this day. I'm going to answer emails during these hours. I'm going to plan meetings during these hours and stick to it.
Chat shit to George between this 5 minutes.
And if, and soon everyone else learns that, they're the 3 hours that Ollie does calls, so I'll schedule a call in those 3 hours.
Yeah, because you were saying the other day on your social, wasn't you? Like, people's phone will ping off. And then you're like running back to the phone. What was that? Yeah. It's just saying someone liked your comment, man. Do you know what I mean? Like that can wait. You could be busy doing something. Just have that time.
It can take a long time as well for your mind to get back fully into what you were doing before. Even if you just take your head away, look on your phone, and then look back to your computer or something at work, or look back to whatever you were doing. It can take quite a while to get your brain back into the right sort of frame of mind
definitely.
to get back.
And especially the way socials are nowadays. Before you know it, you've watched how dogs can balance balls on the nose, and you're like, "What the fuck? How long have I been here? Half an hour just."
100%. I want to break that down because you've made a few good points there. You made the point of structure, routine. Okay, that's how I got through the first lockdown. Like I smashed the first lockdown. I'm not afraid to say it because I helped other people smash it. And what we did is we made sure we knew what days we was exercising. We knew what times we was exercising. We knew where we was exercising and what we was doing. We knew the exercises. Everything was structured and scheduled. That means it's less energy for the brain to have to think about. Yep. We need to... Like Ollie and the brain are two separate entities. Your brain's trying to work against you. Your brain is designed to keep you comfortable and alive. exercise and anxiety makes you feel like you're dying. Your brain's saying, no, we don't want that. So you've got to trick your brain into it. So, hey, you make it easy for your brain. You create a structure, schedule, routine. Once your brain knows what it's doing, it can get it done, no problem. You also then want to trick your brain into it like, we're only going to do 10 minutes. Brain's like, yeah, okay, cool, we'll do 10 minutes. And then you get out. The thing is, when you start doing 10 minutes of jogging or walking, you start feeling them endorphins. You're like,
it's after 10 minutes.
I want to keep going.
And the next day, whatever your schedule may be, and if you do it every other day, whatever, you might do 12 minutes, 14 minutes. Then you want more and more and more.
Yes, you do.
Do you read or listen to any books or anything like that? Do you?
Yeah, I started off watching motivational videos. I was washing cars for a living at Sutton, available car.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
5 years of that made me depressed, and I was a nasty human being, but we could talk about that. So what I did is I started watching motivational videos on my dinner time. Type in motivational video YouTube or videos for depression, videos for whatever. And I just fed my brain, because your brain's like a sponge.
Yeah,
definitely.
If I'm listening to negativity all the time in songs around people, I'm going to soak it up. I'm going to start to act out on that. If I start listening to positivity, motivational, I'm going to soak it up. I'm going to become that. And I did. It's like your brain's a computer, but you've got no programs on it. What programs are you putting on?
Yeah, you need to listen and to watch things to kind of set your brain and your mind in the right kind of direction.
Definitely.
Otherwise, social media drags it away.
It does, along with everything.
But like you said, when you've absorbed all this positivity, you then want to just spread that positivity, don't you? Which is the great tool of that. It's about how you've made great use of it for 100%. Yourself. And then how good is it when you make someone else feel how it made you feel?
Feels insane.
Insane, mate. Yeah, it's so.
If you've got an Audible membership or anything, I recommend the Chimp Paradox.
I've read that. Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's incredible, mate. Opens up your mind. And
I've got Audible as well. I'm paying for it. I've got like about 5 credits.
Get the Chimp.
Are you? Because I'm more of I don't listen to Audible. I listen to podcasts and songs, but I read physical books.
No, I listen to books. I can't read. I can read, but you know what I mean? I can't read.
What do you mean you ain't got time?
I don't have time every day for the gym, mate. Never mind. I'm at work from 6 in the morning, sometimes till late at night.
What time do you go to bed?
Well, hang on a minute. What do you do for a living?
By the time I go home,
drive
food, shower, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I'm up at 5.
Do you go to bed and you straight asleep as soon as you hit the pillow? Like you don't even...
Yeah, there might have been, I don't know, something going off. But
you can listen to audiobooks at work, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I do it. In my lorry, it's the perfect time.
Yeah, you got to find what works for you, essentially. Yeah,
exactly.
What I did for myself is 10 pages. Well, I started off on 3 pages because I struggle to read. 3 pages a day before bedtime, like just before I sleep, because as you sleep and your brain processes all this new information, stores it, so you remember it a lot better.
Good to get away from the blue light of the screen as well.
And that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I built it up to 10 pages, and I just do 10 pages every night. And I've read like 7 or 8 books this year doing that.
Brilliant.
Madness, mate, madness.
Even like people like Russell Brand and stuff. I like Russell Brand and how articulate he is with his words and things like that. And he says, just awesome. read.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I had a mindset for a long time of like, my brain's full, I can't fit any more information in,
So maybe this is one thing people should be doing, this lockdown version 2.0. Just get a book, man. Just read.
Listen to books.
If you can't read very well, like you say, Audible, there's always Audible. Get your headphones on, listen to the book while you're doing jobs, do the housework.
100%. While you're walking as well, if you can find a podcast that you enjoy doing, you've got your routine and structure, like we said, and you're going for your walk on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You find a podcast that you like. It's like your treat. You only listen to that when you're walking, so therefore you're tricking the brain again, because the brain's like, I want to listen to my podcast. Oh, we'll have to go for the walk then.
Anybody's interested, just like and subscribe below, just in case anyone listens to this podcast whilst they're walking or jogging or anything. You can actually listen to this through YouTube Music and lock your phone, put it in your pocket, and still hear our voices. So
that is it. That is good. That's a good point to make, because a lot of people.
That's okay.
Shameless plug.
So I read, and that's how I keep my brain stronger. I avoid watching EastEnders or anything drama.
Yeah.
I don't. If people are talking negative, I listen. I've got a 3-tier rule, so I go. Tier 1 is okay. I'm listening because everyone needs to vent.
Oh, that's not Boris's 3-tier rule, is it?
I kind of used his and manipulated it to my own. I used to call it the 3. What was it? Like levels. What was it? 3 chances. But I figured some people need more than 1 chance in the tier 1. So tier 1 is you let people vent. You let them talk and you let them moan, because everyone needs a moan every now and again. Yeah, we need to get that energy out, like we've said.
Yeah, definitely.
Tier 2 is, okay, now I'm going to give you some advice. I've listened, I'm going to give you some advice. Tier 3 is, if I've given you advice and you're not doing anything with it and you're still moaning, I'm going to tell you to shut up and I'm going to tell you to go and sort it out. Because sometimes what happens is we get in this cycle with the brain where when I'm moaning, when I'm going, oh, life's terrible, The other person, what do they tend to do usually?
Same shit.
They sympathize with them. They go, oh, really? Is everything that bad?
Yeah.
That's giving them attention. And we require attention as human beings.
That's what people spout off about on all the socials, don't they? Can't take it anymore. Yeah. Like, all right. So then everyone's just put to love arts and like, what's the matter, babe?
Now they're getting
you
that.
okay, hon?
It's like a cycle. It's like a loop cycle.
Hey, baby. ASL.
Inbox me, baby.
Okay.
That's what they put in it. Like, all right, what's up?
Yeah, give me an inbox. Inbox your babe.
Yeah, and that because now we're getting that. That's why
Attention.
we do it.
Yeah,
Attention.
attention,
So what you need to do sometimes is you need to break that cycle, and you need to instead of giving them attention, you say, look, sort yourself out. Stop being soft. Go and do something about it. And then the brain goes, they might not like it at first. I bet you something. I bet they go away and think about it that night in a different way.
I agree. I do agree with you. But like, do you know, in like 2020, it's almost like, because that's going to divide people, that comment, because, you know, some people like the whole man up thing, and people's going, you know, man up, deal with your problems. That's like, you can't say that anymore. You can't do that anymore. You can't, you know. So I mean, like, how do you feel about that? With it being we're in such a time now, aren't we, where, you know, equality and all that kind of stuff, and going back to language is powerful. So
I think it's all about balance. Like we said, you've got your 3-tier rule. You've got your time for people to moan and complain and etc. You've got your time to give them advice, and then there comes a stage when listening to people moan isn't doing you any good anymore. It's not doing them any good anymore. And I know this because I help people on a daily basis. I guess we haven't told them, but I'm a coach, a personal trainer, but I've gone into the mental health side of things. Yep. And I've got people from the edge of suicide, I'll be honest with you. Close people from the edge of suicide. And I've sat with them for a day, and they've turned the life round or turned their mentality round in that day. In that day, I've left them for
sometimes you just need someone to talk to, especially someone that knows kind of what they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? You can't just talk to anybody, but sometimes that's what they do want. But obviously, you know, you've been dark places in your life, and you can relate. That's the main key word, isn't it? You can relate to that. And I
think what I'm trying to say to Ollie's point is, you've got to for their health as well. You need to say, sort your shit out. Yeah, and you need to say it with compassion. It's not like, oh, sort your shit out. Because it goes back to words and the power of words. I can say
how
this.
How you say stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Sort your shit out. Or I can say, look, sort your shit out. Because then you're saying it because you love the person.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll always tell the person, I'll say, I love you, but you're not doing yourself any good. You're not doing me any good.
But you need to sort your shit out.
Always let them know that you love them, because that's what we're requiring. It all boils down to everybody wants love. So we try and chase it through social media, through attention, like you two so rightly said.
So why do you think, in your opinion, then, that like this is because mental health, you know, anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff, it's such an issue. It's such a, well, I say not such an issue, but it's such a topic.
So prevalent.
What's, you know, have you got any opinions in regards to why that might be? Because you go back and it was like, you know, get on with it sort of thing. And there was no, I don't know, maybe mental health problems have always been here and we've just never addressed them before, but it seems to be the thing at the moment, doesn't it?
My opinion is it's a multi-layered, multi-tiered, lots of aspects to it. So I'm going to list them off, and then if you want to talk about any of them in specific that we haven't already mentioned, feel free to shout out. So we've got nutrition.
We can talk about that all day long.
100%. We're surrounded by alcohol and dopamine-fueled foods, and lack of understanding, lack of education on nutrition. Okay, then we've got lack of physical activity. Everyone's lazy, everything's done for us. We don't have to walk anymore. You've got your Uber Eats, everything's brought to the door. We're now locked up. So I would suggest getting out. Fuck Boris. Get yourself out there, go walking. Please go walking. Don't sit and anyway. Then we've got pornography and Instagram. They can go into social media and pornography. Okay. And addiction to ejaculation and orgasm. Because that fucks the brain up completely.
But people that are really stressed, the doctor sometimes I know a story from this guy when I was really going through a stressful time of my life, and he says, go home and play with yourself. And that was advice from the doctor because it releases some certain things. But yeah, he probably just meant once or twice, not like because people sit there all day.
Not constantly, George.
Can I play devil's advocate with that? Doctors also put people on statins and put you straight on medication when all you needed to do was get something out to your spouse rather than take this tablet. So I'm not judging doctors or saying they do a bad job. They are necessary. But so when you ejaculate all the time, I'm going to talk from my own experience and other people's experience. Once or twice, yeah, cool. Like, don't abstain forever unless you're going to go be a monk in Tibet or something. Like, we all want to ejaculate every now and again. We want to make love to our partners and we want to do this. What I'm saying is if you're jacking off 2-3 times a day, or even once a day, every day, you're going to feel lethargic. You're going to feel anxious. My anxiety disappears when I retain
Wow.
I'm seeing a girl at the minute, and it was my birthday last night, and I said to her, I can't have sex tonight because I'm on a podcast tomorrow, and I need to be able to articulate myself effectively.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
that's what you said though.
That's
like
exactly
that the willpower in there, man.
Well, no, but it's like, do you know, football players and stuff like that. They tell them that
boxers. Boxers are one of the main. Sort of,
Mike Tyson.
You've done
5
boxing.
years.
Yeah,
5 years.
5 years of from tails. 5 years of semen retention. Jesus. And look at him. He was a beast, mate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but animal, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? He was one of the.
Honestly, and I'm gonna give the guys listening to this, and even the women, because I've spoke to some women that have done it. Obviously, not the semen retention, but anyway. But they've noticed a rise in energy. So I'm a productive guy. I'm up like yourself, 6 a.m. I'm doing drop shipping. I'm doing podcasts. I'm doing online training and physical training and all of the bits in between. I don't flag. I don't flag, mate, when I'm retained. When I ejaculate, I'm fucked for 2 days. And you can ask my clients, you can ask my close people, and it's not a mental thing. It's a physical. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to socialize. I don't want to get my jobs done. I've got no willpower, and I just feel like crap. So I've got like an experiment for the guys, the women listening to this. Do 7 days. It takes me 3 days to feel the benefits, but do your 3 days and go for 7. See how you feel during those days. Do you feel more energetic? Do you feel more confident, less anxious? All of that business. Do it for a week. And then once you've done it, bust nut. Right. Treat yourself to a wafty crank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'll probably be the best ever.
It feels a lot better because you're sensitized again. And see if you lack energy. And I've done this with clients. Sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? I've told clients to partake in this, and I can tell when they're retained. I've got to the point now where you can see it in people's eyes.
The energy levels,
eye contact, energy levels, confidence.
Did you ever wank? No, you've
been jacking off again, haven't you? Hold your hand there. Wash it first.
That's crazy. But no, I can kind of understand that though, because like I say, I have heard like sporting teams and like you say boxers or whatever will, you know, the managers won't allow any of the players to be with the girlfriends at all, will they, like the night before and stuff like that, so they can. It's
based in science as well now. There's science behind it, and if you think about it, spirituality and religion. No, not that we want to get into religion too much, but
are you religious?
Semi-religious. We talk about that, but in spirituality and religion for thousands of years, they've been practicing abstinence. They've been practicing, not ejaculating all the time. Yeah. It's got to be based. It's got to be, it's like for thousands of years they've said, "Eat from the earth. Plant is thy medicine," and all that. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot in these spiritual teachings and these biblical teachings that we should follow. And when you follow them, you feel incredible. I feel incredible every day. Maybe I have one day where I'm like, oh, I feel a bit rough today.
Is that when you've had a wank?
Usually when I've had a wank, yeah. It actually is. But like, I'm a human being. I do have down days, but my down days now are just like average days, mate. Before, there was debilitating, crippling, anxious, depressed days.
Maybe I need to leave it alone then and get some more energy. I'm taking this advice on board. No, seriously, man.
Okay, so also I want to tell people, and yourself as well, if you want to do this and you actually want to practice this, go home and absorb the benefits. Go and watch YouTube. So many YouTube videos. Semen retention benefits. Your brain's got to understand the benefits of doing anything.
Yeah, of course.
If you're going to drink alcohol, we know we're going to get a little bit tipsy. We're going to have a good time. There's your benefits. If we're going to do semen retention, we want to know exactly why we're going to get what we're going to get from it. And if those benefits don't resonate with you, you ain't going to stick with it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you need to understand. You need to go into your body and you need to have a wank. And how do I feel? You need to ask yourself these questions. How am I feeling now? Now, how am I feeling? 7 days in, how am I feeling? Because if you can understand that you're having depression and anxiety that's related to your excessive ejaculation, your brain's going to go, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because I've seen in the news or in the media recently that there's big campaigns at the moment to get people talking about it a lot more, just like the things that they do with themselves at night time, if you like. So there's a lot of people are trying to be a bit more open and talk about it. So maybe, this is a good time to be putting this out there, I guess, isn't it? If it's in the public site at the moment anyway. So
yeah, definitely.
Crazy.
So, like you said, nutrition, that was another big thing that you said. Drinking a beer.
Nutrition.
Don't worry, it's a light. It's a cause light.
I think this is important, actually. Nutrition, as we'll talk about, but balance. Yeah. Life's about balance. Life's not about not ejaculating, not drinking alcohol forever. It's about finding the balance. Like, don't do it every day, obviously. If you drink alcohol every day, how are you going to feel?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. If people have these life goals, everyone can be a better you know, like I say to people, you can be a better you, forge a better you. It's never too late to start. You can start today, start tomorrow. You know, don't leave it till like tomorrow all the time. Just start today, forge a better you. Like I say, it's all about balance, your nutrition. If you want more energy levels, if you want this and that, research that, read books, do stuff. Get out there, man, and you can do it. People just, and they're sitting at home now and they think, oh, but I'm waiting for this to happen in my life. I'm waiting for that to happen in my life. Or, yeah, but you know what? I'll do it next year for my New Year's resolution. It's nearly the end of the year. I'll just fuck it off this year and just eat shit. And I'll do that. Do you know what I mean? And no, the time is now. Do you want to better yourself? You know, the biggest project you'll ever work on is yourself.
And it's an ongoing project, mate.
It's an ongoing project.
For the rest of your life.
I think it's time. Like, I've been in the situation where I've been like, oh no, I've not got time for all that. I've not got time for all that, you know. And it, you know, it comes down
excuses,
to
man.
Comes down to, like I said earlier, making, you know, time blocks.
Can I interrupt you on that as well? It's like you said, you haven't got time for it, and by not having time for yourself and your health, you're taking time off your life
at the end. Yeah,
at the end,
definitely.
So it's like you're borrowing the time.
100%, mate.
Yeah, now you need to do
That's
it now.
a very, very, very true statement as well. That actually,
and like I say, when people say, oh, I don't have the energy and this, that, and the other, and I bought that V8 juice. It's a vegetable juice, and it's amazing the energy I get off that, you know. Or make it smooth
from plants.
Yeah, bro.
Oh wow.
Are you plant based?
Sarcastic.
100%.
Oh yeah, I did a year of that. And you're a meat eater.
I did 2 months of. I watched Game Changers and did 2 months of being vegan. I did it but then I went to Miller and Carter, it was the best steak ever had in my life. But I enjoyed it, man. I think omnivore, you know, a bit like a lot of people out there who know a lot about
here,
it.
guys.
No, you know.
No, but
Ollie's leaning away. Body language is saying.
To each their own.
What I've took from that is, I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into it too much, but I think people should eat less meat. I think people should eat virtually zero processed meats. That shit's no good for you whatsoever. Really, you know, highly cancerous and this, that, and the other. All these different levels or whatever because of the process it goes through to be processed meat. If like I say, if you're gonna have some, just have some nice lean bit of chicken, bit of beef.
Not everyone can afford that, mate.
What?
The more leaner cuts. That's why the processed shit exists, isn't it?
Mate, you can get bird's eye fucking 100% chicken breast stuff for £1.
Yeah, but you can eat some, you know.
Again, it's like the time thing. It's what's your priorities? Is your priorities cigarettes, alcohol, Netflix? Or is your priorities your health? I don't like buying clothes. I just don't buy clothes. I don't do it. This is a present from today, and it's like everything else is naff. But what I'm saying,
when I saw you yesterday, you were naked, man.
That was just for you. I was following you.
I'm a naturist normally. I don't have any. I don't. What's a wardrobe?
Now I know why
trees
and
that.
Right, okay, makes sense.
But when it comes to food, I'll spend 65, 70 plus a week just on my shopping because I want to feel good, mate. That's all I want to do in life. That's all anybody wants to do in life is feel good.
Because you know how important nutrition is to yourself and to your body, so that's what you invest in.
Yeah.
Why sorry, why only a year plant-based then? What happened there?
So basically I got into it through watching the documentaries. It was before what's it called,
Game Changers.
It was before that one,
and then What the Health.
It was those ones,
Cowspiracy and all that.
Yeah. And I was slowly cutting meat out, and I went down to like a pescatarian, so fish and eggs and stuff. And then one day I cracked an egg, mate, and just blood fell out of it. Oh, bro, it was a bit nasty.
No way.
And I was eating the fish, and the fish had a spine in it. So for me, that was like a sign to say maybe we should try something different.
We should not eat corpses here.
Essentially speaking. And then what happened? So I did it for a year. Everyone was like, "You'll never stick to it, Zach." I says, "I'll tell you what, I'll do it for a year." And I did it for a year. And then I got to Christmas, and I was working at 6 a.m. till 2 p.m, like cleaning toilets and stuff. And I was doing my personal training, self-employed from 2 till sort of 8. And I was working out. I was doing this, and I just started to feel really tired and fatigued. And I caught a bug. You know, it was probably probably coronavirus 5 years ago.
Yeah, who knows?
Anyway, let's not get into that.
Or just some other strain of the flu.
So basically, so your body needed zinc, and that's where you get your zinc from.
Yeah, zinc, maybe protein. I think I was lacking in protein as well because I'm working out,
B12.
I'm working hard, B12, and I think I was lacking in all this, and I got run down. And then I remember being sat in Pizza Express, and they did a vegan one, and I says, I want meat. Like my body, I can feel my body wanting meat, and I can remember it come out, and I smelt it, and I was eating it, and I was even because I knew what it was. I knew what you
knew what you were about to do.
But the thing is my body needed it. And then it started off, every time I had a pizza at the weekend, I'd have a bit of meat on there. And then
it didn't need it though, did it?
Yeah, but maybe because he wasn't supplementing B12 and things like that. Yeah. So I always say to people, my mum's sort of always brought me up in the ideology where, I'd say, I just fancy, like, I don't know what it is. I just fancy, I don't know, tomato, or I just fancy just a drink of milk, or whatever you might fancy, like something healthy, or just fancy some Brussels sprouts. And then you look back and you go, yeah, it's probably because your body is pointing out to you, you want this food because you're missing the certain, the nutrition that's in it. Maybe it's iron. Maybe you fancy some proper garden green peas all of a sudden.
Yeah, I crave
because you need iron in your body.
Yeah. Every now and then I crave really dark green cabbage. That sounds dead, but it'll be like an iron thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like every now and then I'm like, I need that.
Yeah, it's all about getting in touch with your body. But no, I would happily go vegan again. But I do enjoy going out for food and having choice. Like, I do enjoy a meaty burger.
Mate.
I do enjoy it. And I think the thing, when people say, we get more energy with being vegan, you get more energy plant-based, I completely agree.
Go to Capo Lounge in Mansfield, get yourself a Beyond Burger.
I've had them all, mate. After a while, it's just
no, you've not had
the same, is it?
You've obviously not had a Beyond Burger then. Trust me. We'll just move on. But trust me.
But anyway, we're talking too much about this shit. We always do. But no, what was them other things that you said? You said nutrition, which you just pretty much covered.
In terms of, okay, so what was we talking? Mental health. We went back to, so nutrition, too much pornography. Okay, social media. Social media, what you're doing is you're comparing yourself to unattainable, because these people don't even look like this. On my Instagram, I've got abs and everything. I don't look like that in real life all the time. It's the lighting, mate. It's the angle. I've probably just done a workout. I'm doing it. Which
you do say that. I've seen that on your post. You say, great lighting, guys. Don't believe what you see. It's the lighting or something like that.
Exactly. I mean, it was hard enough online.
I thought good on him.
And now we've got Snapchat filters, which completely change the look of everyone as well. It's mad, isn't it? It's terrible.
And then you've got the fact of all this constant supply of dopamine. You two said earlier about the constantly trying to check your phone for notifications. You get addicted to it.
Last thing to do at night, first thing that people do in the morning. It's the worst thing. I've always got on my phone, it's called eye comfort. So I suggest to people, if you've got eye comfort mode in the top, swipe down, or mine's an Android, but I think most phones nowadays have got it, and it takes the blue off and it looks a bit more yellowy, your phone screen.
It's called night mode on iPhone.
Yeah, and people need to turn that on, man, because it does things even in your skin, and it keeps everything alive and awake. So you can't settle at night and you can't turn off.
There's a digital well-being thing and all on my phone where I can block all the apps and stuff during the day, which I do, which is brilliant. That is. Yeah. You can't even go into the socials. It's just
another good.
I wonder why you don't text back for ages sometimes.
I just ignore you, mate.
Oh, your phone's pinging. Why aren't you running to it? Isn't it just looking at it and piss off?
No, genuinely, it blocks all, apart from like WhatsApp and a few other key kind of communication things, it blocks all from 9 to 5. Everything's blocked.
That's what people should do. Like you say, schedule
again.
It's just on my Android phone. It's just digital well-being. It's like a part of the settings, and you can go in there.
You've got a Google phone, haven't you?
Yeah, set all the apps that you consider to be distracting, and it just.
Like you say, you took that step to help you schedule things,
and it is good. And you find yourself like.
Allow yourself time for that later when you've left work.
You think about your phone though throughout the day, and then you stare at it and you think, And if you press one of the apps, it pops up saying you're in focus mode, and you've got to actively kind of tell it that. And doing that makes it. Oh no!
It's just that one barrier in front of it.
Yeah,
it
works.
Yeah,
it works.
It's like the whole social media thing, which a lot of people have picked up on. What's happening nowadays is it's the algorithms and the negativity that they pick up on and people's posts, and it makes you want to comment because it's showing you the negativity things, the negative things, because people comment more on them than the happy things. Do you know what I mean? So people will engage more. Therefore, Facebook will feed you with more negativity. Like, guess what? Breaking news, so and so, this, that, and the other. And that's why I came off everything for 2 years, and I felt fantastic.
That's amazing. 2 years is a long stretch as well.
Everything came off everything, mate.
See, I see social media as again a tool, just like anxiety and depression. What I use social media for, I've got this thing. Whatever I post on social media, it has to have some benefit to somebody else. Like if I'm posting something, it needs to be productive. It needs to give somebody a message.
It's got to have value.
It's got to have value, mate. Like it can't just be, okay, I like to put pictures of my body. I'm human. I like the dopamine, I'll be honest.
Everybody likes attention. People say, I don't like attention. Fuck off. Everybody likes attention.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Do you have all your notifications on and everything? So
turn them all off.
You turn them all off?
No, all my notifications are off except my emails at the minute, because I'm getting into drop shipping, so I like to see them popping up like, oh, you've made a sale, and it's interesting.
Little things like that. That's fine.
But I turn all my notifications off simply because I will check them if they pop up. But what I'm struggling myself at the minute. I'll be honest. I'm a human being. I'm struggling with going through this cycle of Instagram, no, nothing, Facebook, nothing, WhatsApp, nothing. And I'll do it 2 or 3 times, mate, in one sitting.
And then you've checked, then you go round in a circle, check them all again. I've done that, man.
And then I shout at myself. I'm like, what are you doing, Zach?
Yes. And I just want to chuck my phone.
At the wall.
Yeah.
Digital well-being and scheduling stuff. If you've scheduled time in your day to actually check social media and aimlessly scroll, then it's not a waste of time.
Yeah.
Because you've allowed that time for it. If you're doing that while you should be doing something else, then it's a waste of time. You know?
Like say self-control, man. People need to just be more aware of what's going on in life and just.
And I think use the tools that we've already got as well. The things that are the biggest distraction for us are the things that can help us, can help us as well. You've just got to delve into the settings in your phone, switch all that on, and it actually does help.
Like I love to challenge myself. You know what I mean? Like willpower, challenge yourself. Like you say, the greatest project you'll ever face in your life is yourself, and like just challenge yourself. Like the littlest things like that. Just throw your phone on the sofa. Don't touch it for a couple of hours. Go and get your shit done.
Also, charge it downstairs, not upstairs. Don't charge it beside your bed, your phone.
Oh, when you're in bed.
Plug it in downstairs.
I think building willpower is so important and overlooked. And it's easy to say build willpower and build some of that because, definitely. How do we do it? So how would you say, if you could give some people advice, how do you build willpower every day? Or how would you give people, how do you build willpower? How to give people like tools to do it?
Well, you probably just start off small and challenge yourself. If you've got shit willpower, like I said, I've always liked to challenge myself initially. Like when I used to smoke or quit smoking, or whatever it may be, drugs. We've all been there, and it's just I don't know. I think my advice to other people would just say start off small. Like what little things, just list the things that you want to try and stop if you're trying to stop stuff, and just start off with the one that'll be easiest to do first. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a point. And I think as well, to build willpower, we need to do, like you say, the small things. And the small things, my opinion, are things like washing the pots, making your bed.
Oh, God, I can't stand them.
Doing these little things. Like, I've got this thing called the do it now muscle, yeah? So you've got the do it now muscle, do it later muscle. Just like muscle, whatever you train grows. If we're saying, I'll do that later, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow. You're training,
we all do.
Which we all do,
sure, man.
but we're training that muscle. So it's going to overcome. And then anytime you come to do something, the muscle kicks in that's the strongest, and it's the do it later muscle. So I've got this thing called do it now. If I see something on the floor, my brain goes, I should probably pick that up. We've all experienced that, haven't we? I should probably pick that up. And I walk away. No, I'm going back and I'm picking it up now. I'm doing it now. But I should probably go and put some deodorant and brush my teeth. I can do it later because it's a Sunday. No, you'll do it now. You've just had the thought, so go and do it.
Do you think it could be the chimp and the human? Do you know what I mean? Like your chimp's like, do it later, man. We're just chilling the city and watch Netflix. Your human's like, dude, do it now because your breath stinks, man.
Yeah, definitely. And that's how you build willpower.
Irrational and logical.
100%.
Irrational
100%. The chimp just wants to be, he's like, nah, let's do it. Yeah. But that's how you build willpower, doing these little things. And then that builds up, it compounds. The next thing you're saying, I've got to do a walk. You've got your structure, like we spoke about, your routine. And because you've done everything else, you've made your bed, you've washed your pots, you're already on a roll doing the things that you need to do now. And you take yourself out for a walk, and then it builds up to the point where it becomes natural. It becomes natural. Like now, I just do shit all the time. Today, I was so tired. I was thinking I've got to go and talk for an hour, blah blah blah. And then my brain kicked in. It was like, no, but we're going to do it. And I almost felt like a shift in my personality.
Yeah, I was the same, man. I had an hour on my sofa earlier, but I haven't done nothing all day. I thought I meant to do this, meant to do that. But to be fair, I'm allowed sometimes. I was a bit hungover today, so. A little bit delicate, but like you say, and then all of a sudden I was like, no, get your shit together, do shit. And I literally jumped up, went in the kitchen, and I downloaded a load of smoothie, just smashed out like 40 press ups, picked up my dumbbell, just did a quick something just to get my blood rushing. And it literally took like 2 minutes of training sometimes, and then I get in the shower and I'm awake.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got my blood pumping. I can feel it. Do you know what I mean? It's great.
Like the snow globe.
Just look at the floor. If you're looking at the floor, just get down, do 20 press ups, man.
100%.
For me, I found having a dog helps me because like I can slip quite easily into I don't like.
But when his dog shits on his floor, he has to pick it up, doesn't he?
but in the morning when you wake up and your dog's got onto my bed and she's like staring at me like, come on,
slobbering in your face.
Let's do stuff. You can't ignore that, or you get shit on your
bed.
Like
with people with a baby, it's like having a baby, isn't it? You got to get up. Your baby's crying in the night. It's hungry.
Well, you can lock dogs in cages.
Go and drop a tit over its cot.
You can lock dogs in cages and that, mate. So
awful.
If you want to.
But no. So what we saying? Like, what would you?
So we just go back to that point that you just said.
Yeah.
You just said you do it for your dog. So this is a beautiful point that you've just touched on there.
I know. I don't do it for my dog. My dog helps me with the routine and helps me stick to structure.
100%. And I just had a thought about it in terms of the baby as well. Like, if you're depressed, anxious, don't want to do anything, sometimes, like you said at the start of the podcast, when you do something for somebody else, you get a buzz. So like, maybe you being a little bit selfish, thinking, oh, me, woe me. Go and do something for somebody else. It's just a small thing and you'll get a buzz.
Definitely.
Make other people your reason. This is why I'm still going. Like I had a near-death experience, right? And on the way back down, as I'm being dragged back down to earth.
Whoa, what happened with this?
Should I tell the story?
But just what was that point though? I don't want you to forget the point.
Okay, the point was, you need to have a greater purpose if you want to be happy. And it has to be in the form of helping others, like taking your dog out for a walk. The reason you do it is because you're not, you're a compassionate person. You're 100%. Not. The reason we feed our baby isn't because we love the baby. We have a greater purpose, and it's usually other people, not yourself.
Yeah,
wow.
That's how I saved my best friend who recently went through some terrible shit. He ended up in hospital. Basically, I says to him, this was the breakthrough point. I seen it in him. I says, maybe it's not about you anymore. Maybe you should use what you do to influence others. And he was like, oh shit, yeah. And then after that, he's not drunk for 2 weeks now. And so like, when you've got a bigger purpose, life's easy.
See, everyone needs a Zach in their life, don't they? Do you know what I mean? But like that could be them. You could, you know what I mean? You could have this, hopefully, brushing off onto them, and they can learn from this podcast, and they can be that person.
It's very much a monk mindset. That is very much a monk mindset.
It works. Compassion is the key.
Yeah, live for doing for others.
Compassion.
I just, like you said, there's nothing better than helping other people, and when you can see the results on that, them said people, and you've impacted their lives, and you've done that, and it might just be one little thing you've said, and you just changed their day, or you just made their day. And I see people, I walk past people, and this littlest thing, that's the smallest thing, I say, just a smile. Smile spreads smiles.
Yes, mate.
And even if you're just walking past people and you just smile, you're all right. And at least you've tried. Even if they go, look the other way, you go, well, I tried, mate.
100%. And one of my philosophies in life is, and sometimes I have bad days, so it's not all the time, but my philosophy is, if I'm going anywhere and having an interaction with somebody, I want to leave them happier than I met them. So if I go to pay for petrol or diesel at the station, I'm talking to I'll give them a compliment, a real compliment. Like if they've got, do you know what I mean? Because then they give a smile, then you smile, then you walk out feeling incredible. So it's like a selfless act.
And they feel mint because they might have been there for 10 hours and been like, and you've just gone in and made the day. So.
And all
someone walked past us just before. Oh no, it's after we saw you yesterday in Frogger Edge. Walked down, and these two women passed us, and it's not, everyone's obviously everyone's socially distanced and everything else, but it's nice to just say hello to people. Oh yeah, you're all right. And sometimes it gets to the point, and I remember a few times yesterday, if they come close, and I'm thinking they're not going to say nothing, so I will, and I turn around and went, "How you doing? You're all right?" And they go, "Oh yeah, you're all right," and put a smile on the face, and I did it to these two women that walked past. My mum was there straight away because she's always been like that. They'd smiley all the time, but they walked past, and I got a whiff of a perfume, and I was about to say something, but my mum got in there first. You, oh my God, what's that? You smell lovely. You didn't imagine. Oh, thank you. It's the new Lancome or something. And she was like, oh yeah, really like buzzed off it, just a little compliment, like you look nice, you smell nice, all that perfume's nice. And I said to some guy around the McDonald's drive-through last week, he took my money, or they took the card payment, and I could smell it from the window, and I went, have you got 1 million on, pal? He went, yeah. I said, it still smells mint, that, doesn't it? And he went, yeah, man, I haven't stopped using it for years.
Yeah, man. He went away, had a great day for the rest of the day. And
exactly.
Here's the compounding effect to that. He then gave the rest of his customers a good day. Yeah. He went home to his partner and had made her have a good day because you gave him a little bit, and it's contagious. It's the power of being human. It's the power.
Like he might not even realised it. Like subconsciously, he's walked past someone and go, "Oh yeah, don't worry, I'll pick that up for you." Or just dead quick little things like that. Yeah. And it's so powerful how the world works. But if you're negative, you're gonna spread negativity. You're gonna bring negativity to the table. No, switch it on its head, man. Just
so you save the world, innit? One person at a time, because it compounds and spreads.
Like you say, hopefully from this show, even if just like say one person has benefited from it, we've done our job. Do you know what I mean? Like you said,
definitely.
So nearly dying.
Nearly dying.
Nearly dying. Wow. So
at this point, I was on steroids. I was taking MDMA, cocaine.
Steroids for training.
Yeah, for training. Anabolics. At the time I was cleaning cars for a living. Right. So I wasn't training for health or mental health. I was training because I wanted to be a big, bad, don't mess with me kind of person. I got bullied when I was a kid, so I guess I kind of took on the role of a bully. I was a bully. I was a nasty human being. I hold my hands up, and I have tried to apologize, and I do apologize to anybody that I've ever offended. That's important.
Good.
And then anyway, one day we go up onto the golf course late at night, middle of nowhere, we're all smoking weed now. My nana had passed away not long before. And I kind of promised myself that I'd at least stop smoking weed for her, because she was a heart of gold, mate. An incredible human being. And so I says, I'm not going to smoke any weed, but I said to the guy in the off license in the shop, I says, have you got any weed? Like, you know, because I thought I was clever. He says, I've got this. It was like a legal high, a cannabinoid it's called Clockwork Orange. Right. So this is going back about 5-6 years now. Thought I were clever. I says, oh, roll me one of these. Some, you know, I smoked 2 drags of it. And obviously it must have reacted with something in my body, because my heart starts going about 300 beats. It's a ridiculous amount. And I took MDMA, bearing in mind, so I know what it's like to have your heart racing and thinking, oh, I think I'm dying here. My body was telling me it's shutting down. My body was like, it was telling me, it was saying I'm shutting down. This is it. So I said, I couldn't move my arms. I'm sat in the car. I said, I need you to bring me an ambulance to my so-called friends. And I don't hold a grudge against them at all. I forgive them. Anyway, I said, I need an ambulance, and I'm screaming, I need an ambulance, I'm dying. I'm screaming it like I'm getting worried now. I wanted to ring my mum, couldn't get my phone out of my pocket. Jeez. I got out of the car to try and walk it off, and I just collapsed on the floor. But I didn't pass out. I just couldn't hold my body up anymore. And at this point, I've got like a pain in my brain, like it's being squeezed on the left side, like it's a pain, ridiculous pain, mate. Jeez. And with the last thoughts, I guess, the last energy, I just accepted I was dying. And I kind of apologized for all the bad shit that I'd done, you know, bullying and all the wrong stuff I'd done. I don't know if I did it out loud or if I did it in my head. I said, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
You basically, like they say, you saw your life before your eyes. And
it wasn't very nice. And my life flashed before my eyes. Not just the past, but it was what I had at the present moment. Cleaning cars. I didn't love my family. I had a girlfriend I wasn't nice to, and I just said, no, I deserve this. This is my time to go.
Like it was acceptance.
Yeah,
like you accepted what was about to happen to you.
Wow. And almost, I think I repented as well. I didn't know the word back then, but I know the word now, and I repented during that moment. And as I'm drifting away now, as soon as I said that, forgave myself and accepted death, I was filled with this overwhelming feeling of peace, mate. Like you've never felt anything like it. No drug in the world can touch it.
Really?
Yeah, really. And I'm feeling peaceful. I'm floating away, and it's warm, it's bright. And the next thing I know, my nana, not in physical form, but she was there, and she was very angry. She was so angry. She says, what are you doing? What on earth are you doing with your life? And I was like, oh, shit, I'm in trouble.
Had she already passed by this
She'd already passed at this point. Not long before, actually. I don't know how long before. I couldn't give you an exact answer. A few months, maybe. And she either said it or I felt it. And she says, you need to get yourself back down there, and you need to make sure people take a different route to what you've taken. That's my purpose on life. I was dragged back down to earth at this point. It felt like I was ripped through hell, mate. And when I come back round, I couldn't see. I couldn't see for an hour. I was blind for an hour. During this time,
I heard... blind for an hour?
Yeah, I couldn't see for an hour. I couldn't see. Everything was just dark. I was blind.
So were you still on the floor? Would your mates pick you up and you couldn't open your eyes?
So my mates, at the time, I heard everything they were saying, and they was going like, oh, is it the wrong time to ask for a cigarette? And I was like, I just felt like I didn't have...
So your eyes were open, but you just couldn't see nothing?
My eyes were closed. I remember hearing them saying his pulse is going, he's slowing down. I just remember hearing everything. Couldn't feel anything, couldn't breathe, couldn't feel, but I could hear. Now, I did look up after near-death experience, and hearing's the last thing to go when we die. So it all makes sense. And then anyway...
So you think you were close to death then?
I was very fucking close to death, mate. And whether I was or I wasn't, like... Because all these people smoked some of this stuff as well, they were fine. So 2 drags and I'm on the floor and this is happening.
Your reaction, everyone can have a reaction to anything.
100%, especially if you're on steroids and taking cocaine and MDMA and eating shit.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a concoction.
Cocktail.
That's a concoction for death.
And whether I died or I didn't die or I was close to or I wasn't close to, I had the epiphany that I needed to sort my life out, basically.
Wow. Yeah, that's it. You had the great epiphany. Like you saw the light and you got dragged, like you said, you got dragged through hell at the time. You saw the light, then you came shooting back down.
And that's why I'm here now, is just to help people. It literally is to help people. And you know, when I start doing things like I have a bit of a smoke, sometimes I have a bit of weed. I like a...
You know what? I'm sorry to put in, man. Yeah. But I've just thought maybe you had that DMT release and you were there. You were passing, you were breaking through to the other side because you had a near-death experience. And just before you die, this chemical DMT, dimethyltryptamine, is released in your brain. Yeah. Maybe you had that release, man.
I think so. I have looked
and
into
you were there.
A bit of an awakening sort of thing.
And then that's what they say. Everyone who has that, like loads of big people, Joe Rogan, Mike Tyson, so many people have tried DMT nowadays, the synthetic form, and they all come back and their life is changed You know, absolutely changed.
Called
the
the
whole
ego death, isn't it? Have you heard of that term, the ego death? It feels like you're dying, but the ego dies. So the ego is like when we're selfish and we like, you know what the ego is, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So the ego death is when that's stripped away from you, and then it's a very painful experience of having your sense of identity stripped from you. So it's like a similar feeling to death, but you have it through taking stuff like DMT and ayahuasca and your mushrooms and things like that, and LSD. And it's painful, but it's enlightening.
So how are you when you like have a smoke now or whatever? Have you got more of a control over it, or is it different now for you?
What do you mean, like drugs? Do you do any drugs now?
I have a little bit of a smoke, like once a month.
Just a social, like pass the dutchie to the left hand side.
I do it for almost to go into my mind more, because
you get a lot more creative. You go quite deep.
Definitely. And also I get I'm able to focus on my negative traits. So I mean, as you've noticed, I like to talk a lot, and sometimes I can over talk people, and I'm trying to work on that.
Do you go into like a meditative state?
Sort of, yeah. It gets scary sometimes, but I'm like, I was quite narcissistic for a long time, and when I smoked, I realized it, and I was like, oh shit, that's why people don't want to be around me. And I was like, okay, cool, let's work on that then. And I use it to a degree, just like I use alcohol to shut off sometimes, because like yourself, I bet you find it hard to shut off from work because you like go.
Yeah.
So I use a beer or something to wind down.
What are your views in regards to things like using MDMA and things like that for not for just getting off your head, because people they use it in therapy, don't they? They use MDMA in therapy or counselling for people to, small doses. Just
I don't know
like
enough.
microdosing.
Yeah, to help people open up a bit more and talk and be a bit more, because that's what it does.
Yeah. I don't know enough about it. Everything you said then, I'm for.
Yeah, he can't advise people to.
No, I'm not telling everyone to go out and take.
I would say if you take these substances and you have an experience of what we're speaking about, good for you, definitely good for you. But I would try and do it the natural way, because you don't need to take drugs to have an enlightenment.
No.
Exactly, bro.
But they can painfully chuck you into an enlightenment. I think.
Well, through meditation and stuff, isn't it? That's the best route,
Yeah, like say endorphin release.
Or gym,
Going into yourself.
Yeah.
Learn it. Just understanding that you are one experiment from start to finish. And you've got to learn yourself, learn how you feel, like the ejaculation.
Yeah.
How do I feel?
And it's funny because a lot of people learn that in the 50s, of the statistics say, who they really are in life. And by then it's too late.
Yeah.
It's because
the prime time is over.
Because by then they're actually listening to the body and listening to themselves.
And they've learned a lot through them 50 years, whereas they could have been on board with this, exactly what we're talking about during this podcast, a lot sooner.
Yes.
So people need to take everything what we spoke about today, just take it to heart and literally act on it and do this shit, man.
And send us any questions. Like if you're thinking to yourself, I need to do this, but your brain says it's too much of a hard task, please message me or message you, one of you two.
Where can people find you?
People can find me, Zak Andrew Purdy, ZAK on Facebook, or Zap Coach on Facebook.
Yeah, ZAP Coach.
ZAP
But your
Coach.
name is ZAK, Zach.
Yes, yeah.
That's it.
And then on Instagram, it's at ZAP Coach. But they message us, ask us questions. Like I like helping people. You like helping people. That's what we do this for.
For sure.
And people can, reach out to us if they forget whatever, and we can always put them in your direction.
With this, just very quickly, with this being sort of like during a lockdown, second lockdown, lockdown version 2, whatever you want to call it. If you've got any tips for anyone, things to do to stay on top and to stay healthy mentally and physically through all this,
Okay, so all I can say is from my own experience, how I've dealt with this is how I deal with tough situations. I go, first of all, I look at what is. So what is? We don't know if it's real. We don't know. We don't know. We can speculate and we can watch conspiracies. We can watch the news and they can speculate. What we know is we're locked up. We know it. That's it. We're locked down.
You got to accept it for what it is. You just got to accept it.
Beautiful. Accept it. Once you've accepted it, the resistance disappears. Then what you say is, okay, what's the worst case scenario that can happen? So my worst case scenario is I lose my house. I can't afford to pay it. I can't afford to eat food. That's the worst case scenario, isn't it, really? I mean, you could catch it and pass away. But for me, I'm a healthy guy. I believe that I can beat it, whatever. So once you've got your what if scenario, you then deal with it already. Deal with it in advance. Okay, so I can live at my mum's. I can eat beans and rice. You'd be nice for that, wouldn't you? Look, for a long time, because
that's all I do eat.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, but you're still gonna
I have a very varied diet.
Exactly, but you're still gonna have your insanity. You're still gonna be alive. You're still gonna.
Yeah. But you have to deal with this. You have to deal with the worst case scenario before it happens, because once you've done that anything else you can deal with.
For
Then
sure.
what you do is you say, right, what can I do now to mitigate that, or to try and overcome, you know, what's going on. So like, for me, it was, okay, I'm going to work out every day, twice a day. Like, that's just because I already work out, and I want to create a situation that's harder in my house than it is out there. So I work out twice a day. For other people, just work out, you know, 3 times a week if you've never worked out. If you work out 3 times a week, up it to 5, 6 times a week. Then it's like, okay, what else can I do? I'm going to start a new business. Why? Because I like doing new shit. We all like doing new shit as human beings. We love it. When something new happens, we go, ooh, little release of dopamine to the brain, little release of endorphins.
Yeah, accomplish something, do something. There's a lot of stuff you can do at home nowadays, especially open your laptop. You can accomplish all sorts of courses. Like we said, read a book.
Read books.
Yeah.
And what,
learn stuff.
What Ollie said, structure. Do yourself a schedule. Write it. I bought a whiteboard specifically for it. 5 tasks in one day that are going to get me at least 5% ahead for the next day, or 1% ahead for the next day. I write my 5 tasks down. Yours might be, if you don't work out, it's to go for a walk. It's to avoid junk food. It's to avoid alcohol and no ejaculation. You know, that's don't shit on the carpet.
That's it.
And people will be watching this now going, what do you mean don't ejaculate for a week? Do you know I'm at home? I'm stuck at home. What else am I meant to do?
It's funny. I remember during the
But
first
do other things instead. You know?
during the first lockdown, or a month or so after it, or maybe a couple of months after it started, Pornhub released statistics about the usage of their website, and it was like lockdown, and it literally just rocketed. You know,
It's mad. And also treat yourself. So like, do all this in the
Just
week.
not to a wank.
Not to, yeah, maybe at the weekend, but use the week effectively. Use the week effectively, mate. Like,
yeah, definitely.
and then have your beer at the weekend. Because I see people, mate, I remember walking around on the first lockdown, and I was going for my walks, and I was looking at people's recycling, man. And it was wine, mate. I've never seen so many fucking wine bottles. And I'm thinking like, okay, cool, where everybody's struggling, but please, you're making it worse for yourself, because you just,
Sure.
yeah,
Everyone's
It's
like,
not the answer, is it?
did everyone start drinking more, wanking off more,
Making banana bread.
fucking
making more
themselves
banana
up.
bread?
Learn something.
Yeah.
Learn something, mate.
Like you said, you just gotta get that mindset. You've got to change your mindset. It's so important.
Yeah.
My personal sort of view on it, or advice, if you like, during all this, is just the whole books thing. Read or listen to books.
Read, like you say.
Full stop. Do you know, if you can't do anything else,
Don't be drinking and wanking off, getting dumber.
because
Get cleverer.
people say, oh, I can't get out because I'm too busy, or I can't do this because of the weather, or I can't get out because I've got kids. Well, read a book then. Listen to a book on Audible. I'm not very good at reading. Listen to it then.
Yep.
Listen
Can't
to something
it,
that you're
read
interested
it,
in. Listen
yeah,
to something,
exactly.
surely
There's no excuse.
there's something in your life that you've always thought, oh, I want to know
even-
more about that.
There's even 30-day free trials on it, so there's no excuse for money.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
have it for 30 days.
Just
see if you like
YouTube,
it.
mate. Just
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah,
All you do is that's where you start, isn't it?
Yeah, even like cooking, like you say, or nutrition, go to that side of things, you know what I mean? Or listen to a book on cooking and then do 2 in 1, and then you can buy, you know, whatever delivered to your door, and you can like experiment with all these cooking, you know,
That's another thing.
and
Make sure your
healthy
diet's
stuff.
good. Make sure your nutrition's on point. Like, eat lots of fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds, because what you put in, you said you had a smoothie before this and you felt all right. You
Yeah,
felt good.
so much energy.
Because your body's taking it and using it. What we put in, we are output. So like, if we eat shit, we feel shit. And if you're eating shit every day in lockdown, you're going to feel shit. So don't come to me complaining when you're doing the wrong things.
Yeah, and put on your socials, not that, you know, you're bored, and a picture of your wine bottle and said, or a picture of what you shot in, and like, oh, bored ASF, you know what I mean, all that sort of shit. And just instead put a picture of your new, you know, whatever you've just baked, or whatever you've just created in the kitchen, or whatever book you've just read. Say, you know, advise it, you know, for other people to read. You know what I mean? Say, you never guess what value I've took from this book, or this or that, or how good I feel after I've eaten this, after I've made this myself. And just be, you know, be positive and keep your chin up, and just definitely have a better outgoing where you can, like you say, put that onto other people, and like you said before, make other people feel good. Like, you know, they can send it to their friends. Guess what, guys? You want to read this book? Guess what, guys? You want to try this recipe I've just made? It made me feel so good. I didn't realize the health benefits of this, or you know, learn more about nutrition. Or
I end up sounding like a sales rep for Audible most of the time. So I'm just like, oh, there's a free trial on Audible. You should get this book. And I'm like always trying to push stuff like that on people, because, like I say, once you know something or you learn something, it's hard not to tell other people, because you feel enlightened, don't you? You know?
And there's a specific way to get people to do something that you want to do, and it's all to do with sales and manipulation. If you can manipulate someone, you can influence them.
there's mind manipulation, and then there's also the power of persuasion as well.
Yeah. And so if I go to you you should watch this, this, and this. What does the brain go? The brain goes, I shouldn't do anything.
Yeah, you're telling me that. Yeah. You're telling me what to do. I don't think so.
Or if I go, mate, I've been reading this fucking book and it is incredible. And then I go on to something else. You go, well, what book?
It made me feel, honest to God, mate. You want to see what I've just done from that.
Catch your...
Like power of language.
Definitely. Just catch their attention. Once you've caught it, move on real quick and let them... Sorry, can I just finish this? When you've got their attention, you can then... They'll ask you and they go, well, can I know more about that? They're opening their gates. It's the same thing with giving people advice. You have to wait for them to say, I'm ready for it. This is why with some people, I'll say, look, I'm not helping you until you ask me to. And they go, okay, I need your help. Boom. The brain's in receptive mode. It's listening.
Yeah, receptive mode. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's like earlier, those two phrases, you were essentially saying the same thing because you'd phrased it differently. One of them piqued interest, one of them didn't. So,
yeah. And that's taken me years to understand, mate. And I'm still learning it now. So it's not something that everyone could just go, but just if you're a helper and not in need of help, look into I'm going to recommend a book because it is insane. It is absolutely insane. How to win friends and influence people. And it's changed my life, mate. Absolutely.
Really?
100%.
I might listen to that tomorrow. So I mean, already I'm took that on board and already I'm going to do that.
It's insane.
Because I want to be like you, bro.
Power of knowledge.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to sort of add to this? Because obviously we've been going about an hour and 10 minutes.
No, just I think one thing I do want to say is, if you're on this journey of self-improvement, understand that relapse is part of the journey.
Yeah, don't give up on your first hurdle.
You're going to fall off. I fall off regularly. I've just had a beer today. That's a little bit of a fall off for me. But
what was that quote I read? It's not how you fall down, it's how you pick yourself back up, isn't it?
And it is. There's that song in it, I get knocked down, but I get up again. It is. So just understand, guys, that relapse is part of it, but it's getting back on. No matter how many times you fall off, you need to get back on. And also, the first part of the journey isn't always action, it's thought. Like, I'm thinking, I think I want to go to the gym. And then you ruminate on that for maybe up to 6 months, maybe a year, but eventually you act on the thought. Yeah. As long as that thought's in your head, it does become reality. So guys, start thinking it. Just start thinking what you want to do and it will just happen.
Positive thought. Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Zak.
Definitely, you've been very positive.
Yeah, you've been a good ray of sunshine. And I'm enlightened, I'll tell you that. So hopefully everyone else has got value from this podcast. And man, they know where to reach you, and maybe have you back on again soon, mate. Like, in a few months' time, and hopefully when we maybe lockdown 3.0 or
well,
when everyone's still whacking off.
What I think is going to happen, is we're going to drag this through up until the end of January, sort of thing. Then it's going to be back to the tier systems through February, and then March they'll bring the vaccines in, and then people will start getting the vaccination.
Don't get him started on the fucking vaccines.
I know. What I want to do though as well, if you don't mind, guys, is me and Mikey and you two, because we've got a little bit of a podcast as well.
Yes, sorry, mate. I meant to mention this. So you have got your podcast as well, haven't you? It's been out a couple of months longer than ours. Words and Wisdom podcast.
Sweet. Yeah, and I think if we get a little conversation going and maybe a few beers flowing or whatever, and just delve into the conspiracy side and that sort of stuff, just have a bit of a deep conversation about it.
We come on yours?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Why not, mate?
That'd be cool.
Well, just one note in regards to that vaccine. Sorry, we won't go into it because he gets annoyed at me. But if it contains animal products, I'm not going to have it. Simple as that.
That's fair enough, mate. That's fair enough.
Yeah, no one has to have it.
No. But that's a different conversation, isn't it? So, but
watch this space, guys, and
thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Thanks
nice
for
one.
on, man.
Cheers, Zak. And just before we go, happy birthday again.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we're shooting at tonight, isn't it, lads?
Cheers, people.
And on that note,
don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below.
That's it.
And
ring the bell. Ding, ding.
If you're getting value from this, guys, please subscribe. It'll do us a world of good. Stay safe.
Stay fresh. Peace out.